Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Millie. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. And if you're new here, welcome. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing and becoming part of the family. Today I have a few finished objects and one work in progress to share with you. And I have both knitting and crochet. So I've been working on several things this year, but my main goal is to use up yarn that's already in my stash, and that is what I have started to do. And I think I have made a little bit of progress, and I am really happy with what I have made. And my goal is to keep working on that, and hopefully by the end of the year I'll have used up some of this the yarn that has been sitting in my stash for a while. So that is my goal. And this is, it's cold today, so I am drinking some tea, and this is just black tea. And I'm using this mug that I've had for a long time. As you can tell, it has started to fade. I got it from Knit Picks a long time ago. And it has a picture of, I think that's supposed to be Jane Austen, but I don't know. But on the other side it says, "She taught me to knit, which has been a great amusement." It could probably be a quote from one of her books, but I don't know. I just like the mug. And I got it a long time ago from Knit Picks, and it's one of my favorite, but I think I need to get a new one because this one is fading off. But anyway, let's get into the finished objects. And the first one is just a washcloth. So I managed to finish one washcloth. I always have a washcloth on my needles. And this is the corner to corner washcloth, and it's an easy project. It works up really fast, and this one makes great gifts. So if you're looking for a quick gift that actually works, or that someone is actually going to use, this is a good one. And I have a video tutorial on how to knit this, and I'm gonna link that down below if you're interested. And this is made out of just regular 100% cotton. I think this one is made out of either Crafter's Secret or Dish yarn, I think. And when I'm making washcloths like this, I don't really measure because I intend to use this in my kitchen. So I just keep on knitting, and then when I think I have a good size, then I stop. So I don't really know what it measures, but typically when I do them, I increase up to 50 stitches and then start decreasing. So that's my first whip, my first finished object. I just need to weave in this tail, and I will be done, and it will be ready to go to my kitchen. So the second thing that I knitted and finished is some fingerless mitts. And this is the first time I've actually finished a pair of these. I remember a long time ago I had started a pair, but I never finished. I think I frogged it because I needed the yarn that I was using for a different project. But these are my fingerless gloves, or you can call them mitts. I think that's what the pattern says. And I finished them last night, and I've woven in all the tails. I just need to block them so that I can trim these all the way. So it's a quick project. They feel really nice. And I actually changed the pattern a little bit because I want to be able to wear them like that when it's really cold. And then I want to be able to fold them to be able to drive. So I made them a little bit longer than the pattern called for. And this is a free pattern on Ravelry. And the pattern is called Sarah Basic Fingerless Mitts. That's what it is. It's a free pattern. So if you're interested, and these they work up really, really fast, and they're not complicated at all. The only thing is that they are knitted in the round, and since there are not many stitches, you either have to use magic loop, or you have to use double pointed needles, or like in my case, I used two 16-inch circular needles, which wasn't very comfortable because of the stitch count. But I tried to use double points, and I don't really like using double points, and it was really frustrating. So I just ended up using two 16-inch knitting needles, and that's how I did it. And I finished them, and I just need to block them. And this is also a starch buster because I don't even remember the color of this yarn, but at least I remember that it's the Marabrigo Rios, and it's a worsted weight, and it's been sitting in my stash for a while. So I was able to get a pair of gloves, and I have this much left. I think I should be able to make another one, I think. But what I'll do is I'll make them shorter. I'll not go all the way. I think if I do that, then I'll be able to get another set from here. And this is 100% merino, so they are gonna be warm and cozy. And I don't know what color this is. So, and I don't know where the label is. So I'm not gonna be updating that information because I don't have it. But I know that it's a Marabrigo Rios, it's 100% merino wool, and it's a worsted weight. And it feels really nice. So that's my second finished object. And then I used US 7 knitting needles, and these are 16 inches. It wasn't the most enjoyable because there weren't enough stitches for me to knit comfortably, but I made it work. So if you're going to be knitting these, or maybe a pair of gloves, you may want to try using double points. I know a lot of people are able to knit with them comfortably. It just doesn't work for me. And so you can either use double point, or you can use magic loop. And I also don't like magic loop. So what I plan to do is buy the size, the smaller needles, which are like 9 inches in length. And I just haven't had time to go to the yarn store to buy those, because I think those would work better because they are not going to be very long. So that is my plan for the future, because I intend to make another pair of mitts, because it's really cold here, and I think it's gonna get cold in February. And sometimes when I'm leaving my house to go to my car, or leaving work to get into the car, I wish I had a pair of gloves. So that is that's the second finished object. And then the third finished object is a crochet project, which I am so happy with this project. And it's a blanket. And I'm going to leave a full picture somewhere here so that you can see what it is, because I really can't fit it in the screen. And this was a starch busting project, and I finished it. I also finished it a few days ago, and I wove in the ends. And my intention was to use yarn that I already had in my stash, but and I only had 2 cakes of this yarn, and I soon realized that it wasn't gonna be enough. And so the yarn that I've used for this is from hobby.com, and the name of the yarn is Cookie. The colors are really nice. I like it a lot. And it's labeled Aran weight. I feel like it's a 4 weight. And also because it's a single ply, it felt a little bit thinner. And I had 2 cakes, and each cake had 656 yards. So I had about 1,300 yards, and I thought that was gonna make a good size blanket, but it didn't. And so what I ended up doing was I went back to my stash and I looked for a yarn. I knew that I had a yarn that was close to this in color and texture. And I had that yarn, and I don't remember what it's called. I'm going to leave, at least I know where to find that information. So I'm going to leave that in the description. And the yarn was a lion brad yarn that had similar colors and characteristics, even though it felt a little bit thicker. And so these last 3 rows are made out of the lion brand, and then the rest of the blanket is made out of the cookie yarn from Hobby. So, but you cannot tell. It blends in seamlessly, and I thought I had more of this yarn somewhere in my stash, but I couldn't find it. Probably I used it all up, because I would have liked to add more to make it a little bit bigger, but I'm just gonna leave it that way. I have woven in all the ends, I've trimmed everything. I just need to wash it. And when I looked at the washing instructions for this yarn, it said hard wash. And I don't think I'm going to hard wash it. I'm just going to wash it in the delicate cycle and then air it out to dry. Because my goal with blankets is just something that you can throw in the washer. And that was what I had hoped with this one. But I don't know. I looked it up and it says hard wash. I'm not going to hard wash a blanket unless it's made out of wool. So I'm just not going to put it in the dryer. I'll just wash it using the delicate cycle, or I think I have a hard a wool cycle on my washer, but nevertheless, it's going to go to the washer, and that's that. I don't know who is going to get this, but it's going to be a gift for somebody. Right now, it's just going to go to my pile of finished objects. And that's the crochet project that I'm working on. And this year, I'm going to be doing a lot of crochet blankets. And the only thing with this blanket is that it's not like all the way nicely spiraled or something, even though I was going one round and then going back the other way, which is supposed to help your granny square stay straight. But for this one, it didn't really stay straight, but I'm not worried about it. And also, this pattern, I learned how to do this from, what's her name? Creative Grandma. She has a tutorial for this blanket, and that is the tutorial that I followed, because initially I had tried to follow some other tutorials on YouTube and they were not working for me. And I think it's because most of those tutorials had, every row had a different color, so you had to cut and add a new color. Versus the tutorial from Creative Grandma, she uses a cake, so you just keep going. And that is what helped me figure out how to do it. So that is all in terms of my FOs. And I have a work in progress that you have seen before, but I have made some progress on it, so I want to show you that. And I had hoped that I would be done with this project by now, but I can confess that I haven't really been focusing on it. I have let other things sidetrack me, and that is basically why I'm not finished. I would be finished because it's almost done. So this is my Tecumseh pullover by Caitlin Hunter, and as you can see, I only need to finish this sleeve, which I've already picked up, and I've started the color work. I think I've only done 3 rows of the color work, and I have to do 17 rows of the color work, and then I'm done. The rest of it is just gonna be straight up stockinette using the main color, which is this charcoal gray. And I finished the sleeve, one sleeve, and that's it. So that's where I am. Hopefully next week when I show you this, it will be a finished and blocked project. But I'll try my best because it's still cold, so this will be ideal for this weather that we are having right now, but I need to get it done. But I think if I can sit down one evening and just focus on the color work, then the rest of it is so easy, because there are not many stitches, so making one round is not going to take that long. So that is all I have on this one. And leave a comment and let me know what you're working on. And if you are knitting, if you're crocheting, I know a lot of people, I've seen a lot of YouTubers talking about starch bursting this year. So if you're one of those, if you're going to be using up yarn in your starch, leave that in the comments and let us know what you're working on. So that is all I have for you today, and whatever you're working on, I hope that you're having a wonderful time. If you're knitting or if you're crocheting, I hope that it's coming along nicely. And until next time, happy knitting!